Hello, everyone, and welcome to Educator Alexander's February webinar. We are so excited to have Dee Porter here with us, actually teaching me a thing or two because I don't know about interactive mapping. So I'm very excited to learn. So Dee, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and take it away and teach us about interactive mapping today.
Thank you so much for having me, Desiree. I really appreciate it. Yes, my name is Dee Porter. I'm a high school librarian at Vandergraaf High School in Leander ISD in Austin, Texas. And I have been at Vandergraaf now for 2 years. And before that, I was an elementary librarian for 15 years. And I started getting interested in interactive mapping several years ago when my husband invited me to a geography conference for his job. And it was in San Diego, so I said yes, and we went. And every day when I was going to the beach, I noticed a sign that said, educators enter here. And sure enough, he told me that there was an educator strand to the geography conference. And so the next year we went back again, but this time I attended the conference. And that's when I started learning about interactive mapping. And I've been using it as a collaboration tool ever since. So fast forward to this summer, I attended an online institute that the same company, ESRI, ESRI, provided. And at that institute, I learned about Survey 123. And I was like, this is it. This is the tool that's going to give more people access to this powerful tool for interactive mapping that we can use in classrooms and libraries. And so that's where my journey started, and that's where I am now. So today, I created a survey for you using Survey 123. And so if you are viewing the recording or here live, you can scan this QR code. And when you scan it with your camera app on your phone, it'll take you to this survey link. And in the classroom, your students can use an iPad to do that, or you could just put this link on the board or in Google Classroom, and they can access it that way. So it basically will take you to a survey that you can complete. There's 4 questions there. And so I'm going to go ahead and let you do that so that we can talk about your answers here in a few minutes. Oh, and that's one more thing. When you put this survey out to your students, be sure to let them know that the answers to their surveys are going to be made public. We're going to talk about them in a whole group. And so, yeah, let them know that before.
And people who are attending this live, you will get a copy of this slideshow. So you can actually use this with your students as well. But you do have to sign in. So in the chat, I put the link for you to sign in. I'll also put it on the screen before we leave today. So you will get a copy of this slideshow if and only if you sign in. I will put it back up at the end, the link, but it's also in the chat. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat and I will get them over to Dee. And Dee, if you wouldn't mind presenting your screen, just so it can be a little bit bigger.
There you go. And if you want to go ahead and answer the 4 questions on the survey, that would be great. I'm going to minimize one more time just to check and see. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next one, the next slide. we're just going to watch this short video that gives you an overview of these mapping tools and what they can be used for, what they are used for in the real world. It's a very short video. We're just going to watch this real quick, and then I'll talk more about the institute that I attended this summer.
And Dee, as we're watching this, does it have any sound? Because we're not hearing the sound. Is it sound that we need to hear, or is it just music?
It's basically just music, but
Just music, okay. And again, because they will get a copy of this slideshow, they will also get a copy of the video if they assign in. Oh, flu risk, that's definitely one that we can do right now. Living in Louisiana, hurricane risk would be a nice one. Hmm.
all right, so basically all of those maps that you saw there was the data being shared out in a map form, like, you know, the outbreak of coronavirus. We can map like where this is all happening, and then like they were saying with the school bus pickups and drop-offs, that can be mapped, you know, to work out problems, and you know, to send more buses where there are more kids, things like that. And so this tool really helps you to see the big picture, but it also can help solve real world problems. This next link here on the same slide is the T3G Institute that I went to this summer. And this is a basic overview of what it is that we talked about over the 2 weeks. So interactive mapping, or GIS, Geographic Information Systems is what that stands for, helps people understand the world and make informed decisions. So the mission of T3G is to help more educators use GIS, thereby changing education and transforming the world. So this company, Esri, has provided software, both online and software that you could download to a machine, so that students can take that data, put it on maps, and use it, you know, to help see a bigger picture or raise awareness, or, you know, solve real world problems. And so, here are some of the things that we went through in the seminar. So there's a lot to this. However, the tool that I'm going to show you today, Survey 123, like I said, it's just a really good access point. It's a good entry for people who maybe have never used this or have heard of it and have been, too worried about it being too time consuming to use it in their classroom. This is a quick and easy way to bring that in. Okay, so this is just a short overview of some of the things that I've said, and I'm going to talk about you might not have ever heard before. But ESRI is Environmental Science Resource Institute, and that's the company that hosted the conference I went to in San Diego years ago. And again, they hosted the summer institute that I went to this summer. They developed the GIS software. They host this conference, and when I'm at the conference, I meet people from all over the world who are using these tools in their classroom. And it's just amazing. It's such a fun conference to attend, and I learn, of course, something new every time I go. ArcGIS.com is the platform that we use to get the apps for the mapping software, and the federal government provides a grant, has provided a grant for years now for schools. You just have to fill in the application and then you're good to go. They give you so much access to free software that's not free, that companies pay for, but as an educator you get for free. And then this is our portal that we have at the high school to access these tools. And then Survey 123 is one of the apps, and that's the one I'm going to talk to you about today. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the Vandergraaf Portal so you can see what it looks like. And like I said, the form for you to fill out so that you can create this at your school is on the slideshow, but you can use Survey 123 without that. You can do it with just your free online account, ArcGIS account. You can use that in your classroom, starting Monday. So when you go to the portal, when you log in with your free account, you'll see a waffle here, very similar to Google. And so that's your navigation tool. And ArcGIS Online is, where I do most of my work here. But Esri does provide all of these other apps for free. And so there is a lot. But like I say, most of my work is here, ArcGIS Online. But then this summer, I found out about Survey 123, which is here. And in my work with English learners this year, I've been using story maps as well. Oh, and we also did this in World Geography. Story maps.
So Dee, did you say that all of these apps are free?
Yes. So yes,
Awesome.
they are all free. And so these three, the ArcGIS Online, the story maps, and Survey 123 are the ones that I've worked with.
Okay.
So let's
and my participants who are here live, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. You will get a copy of her slideshow if you sign in, and I'll put that up at the end.
All right, so if we take a look at Survey 123, so here I am logged into my free account. And like I said, I do have a portal that I've created for my school, but you can access this without having your school portal set up yet. But when you're ready for that, please let me know and I can help walk you through that process. All right, so the survey that I created for you at the beginning of the slideshow, this is the design page that I use to create it. It's very similar to Google Forms. And basically the workflow starts here. This interactive mapping webinar, that's the title I gave it. When you first create a new one, it asks you what your title is, the summary, and I believe it asks you for tags for it. And then in the design page, you just work, from left to right. And the design page, you can add a single line text, which is what I've done here for what is your name. And you can also provide an example like last name, comma, first name. And you could add a multi-line text like I've done here, or tell one way you have used maps in your classroom or library, so that you can give your user, more room to write. But the important thing, the thing that distinguishes this from Google Forms, is that you can add a geo point here. Now, you can only do one geo point per question, but once you add the geo point right there, that takes it into, takes it to a new level, something you might not have ever done before in a survey. And a helpful hint that I learned along the way is when you do add the geo point, add another single line text question that asks the same question. So it duplicates it, because you want to have that geo point to show up on the map with the actual name of the city. And so you just want to, every time you do a geo point, add the single line text. Okay. And then after you set that up, you just click on save and you can publish it. And the workflow here is that everything you're changing, everything you're adding is on the right-hand side of the screen, and then it shows you your preview on the left-hand side. So that's kind of hard to get used to, but that's how it works. And then in this collaborate button here, like I said, this Survey 123 is a very powerful collaboration tool. For librarians, we're always trying to get into the classroom and help, teachers meet their objectives. And this is definitely a tool that can do that for you. So you want to be sure to set it up so that everyone, the public, can get to the survey. Of course, not everyone will. It'll be the ones who you send the link to. But anyway, that needs to be checked so that when your students scan the QR code, they will be able to answer the question. And the first few times I did my survey, I forgot to click that, and the students were like, I can't get in. And so then I was like, oh yeah, the collaborate button. So you just go back here, click on that, save it, and you're good. These analyze and data buttons won't work until we have people who have entered information. So we see here, yay, we have people that have entered some information here, and we'll see the data that they entered show up on the map. And so this is the power of the GIS. So you can imagine that in my English learner classroom that I work with, we can see like where all of our students were born, and there's red dots all over the world, and that serves as a talking point where we can share with each other, learn more about one another, but see in a visual way where everyone is from. And then it prompts the students to talk, because in any when you're trying to learn any language, speaking is the most challenging for students because they're shy, they don't want to share. But when they see a map that has a dot that represents them, that prompts them. They're like, hey, I'm the only one here that can talk about Vietnam and what it's like to live there. So this becomes a very powerful tool. In your settings, pretty much you're just going to leave it like it is. And then here, this sharing triangle is where you can copy the QR code, copy the survey link, paste it into Google Classroom, or like I did, paste it here into my Google Slides. And that's how you share out the survey so the students can then answer it. Okay. Let's go back to the slideshow. So I showed you what the Vandergraaf portal looks like. Oh, I also wanted to show you the, like I said, this survey 123 is something that I learned about this summer. And so I have created a few surveys, and with my world geography students, they were studying Latin America, and they were doing current events in Latin America. And so what their assignment was to research the current event that was happening in Latin America, and they then had to enter that into wherever the current event was happening into their map, and they created a story map with that. And that's another tool that's offered for free that you saw in the navigation waffle. But anyway, here it is, like I was talking about in the map. So all the students, when they're presenting, they can see, oh, okay, we're learning about Latin America, and this is my dot, this is the research that I did, but look at what everyone else around me did. And when you're presenting and learning from each other, they can see where where that current event took place, and it just offers a visual, but also gives them a student voice, to let them know that, hey, this is my responsibility to share about this part of Latin America that I did. So yeah, another one, let me see that I wanted to show you is okay, this is the one I was talking about with the English learners. So each dot represents where they're from, and that gives them a chance to talk about their birthplace and where they're from, and serves as a good talking point for them, and a time and a place for them to speak about their country. So
Indeed, we have been having some comments that it's a great learning tool. They have lots of SEL implications, so your audience is loving it.
thank you, for sure, because the best collaboration tool is relationship building. And so this tool, that's easy to say, right? It's easy to say, build a relationship and then the collaboration will follow. But the actual tool to do it, like, okay, I want to, but how do I do it? This takes you from wanting to collaborate with someone to actually collaborating. Um, and they're also helping them meet their learning objectives as well. I love that SEL comment. It's true. So here is the basic workflow for survey 123. The teacher creates the survey, just like I did today for you all. The students scan their QR code, they answer questions, and they submit the survey. Then the whole class opportunity for them to come together, listen to each other, talk about their data point, either an experience that they had, or a learning product that they are responsible for. So yeah, that's the basic overview of that. All right, so next I'm going to create a survey for you, because I know that when I first learned about this, I was just thinking about so many ways, I can use this in my classroom, and you know, uh, so I want to be sure to capture your ideas about what you're thinking for your classroom and your library, that you're going to take away from here. So we want to be sure to capture that. So we're going to do a survey that. I'm just going to call this survey 123. It gives you a chance to do tags. You can put your area that you're teaching. And here I just want to capture ideas that we're thinking. So then you're going to create. And I complain about this button taking so long, and my husband's like, Dee, There's a lot going on here that this thing is building for us, so be patient. And that's the other thing about interactive mapping, GIS. You know, since I first went to that conference several years ago to this summer, it has changed so much, and of course become easier and more accessible. So we really have to start using it if we haven't already. Okay, so now I'm in the design phase here, and I can add my single line text. Like I said, it's hard to break the habit. You enter over on this side, and it shows up on the right, on the left. Ooh, I can find my left. So we just want the name there. Save it. And we're going to add another single line text. I'm going to ask a geography question. What place would be associated? That's just general. It's like whatever your idea you're thinking about, like where mathematicians were born or something like that. You can put a city and a state here. Save it. And then we're going to duplicate that, because when you add a geopoint, you want to be sure to ask that question twice. That way the city and state will show up in your data table, because if you don't have that on there, it won't show up. And I mean, sometimes you can tell what city you're hovering over, but it depends on what, you know, extent you're looking in your map and things like that. So just duplicate it is the best solution I've found. And then I want to be sure to include this box, multi-line text, where it says, please tell us your idea. Okay, and so after all of my questions have been entered, I publish it. And then I'm going to go over to the Collaborate tab and be sure that everyone has access to it. That way, when students scan their QR code, they will be able to get to the survey. And like I said, the first couple of times I did this, I forgot about that. And the students, you know, just couldn't get to it. So then I remembered, oh yeah, got to go to the Collaboration tab and open it up. It's just like doing your setting sharings in Google. Okay, Collaborate. And I want everyone to be able to get to it. Save. These buttons won't work till we get data on here. The settings will stay the same. Sharing triangle is right here. And I'm going to add it. Ooh, kind of small, but I think it'll still work. All right, and I'll go to this. Then if you could just please use your camera app, scan this QR code, and you'll see the 4 questions come up that'll allow you to, it'll give you a link to a website. And this website will have 4 questions on it, and you can just answer them. And once you submit, we'll start getting the data and we can share that. And then by reading other people's ideas, you'll be able to borrow theirs, or, you know, that might stimulate another idea that you're thinking. So let's see, if I go back here, I can also share the results. All right, so Desiree's idea is I can use this as a story starter or use it in literature to tell key parts of a story from the character's perspective. For sure. Yeah, definitely. And, you know, maps are either points, lines, or polygons. That, I mean, that's general data that you can put on a map if you have a point, a line, or a polygon. So speaking of stories, you can start, you know, from beginning to middle to end and show the character's journey from the beginning of a story to the middle to the end. And there's some like story maps would be perfect for that. But then you can have a link to that map you created in story maps here on Survey One. And then Terry's idea to create student timelines. I love that. We did something similar in our English learner classroom where they talked about all of the schools that they've been to up to this point. They're 9th and 10th graders. So they created a story map where they told about each school, and they could, you know, go out on Google and even download a picture of their school. And they talked about, you know, their favorite thing about it, the friends that they had there, their favorite teacher at that particular school. Yeah, it was awesome. All right, so I think that's all I have, Desiree. If you want to let me
I
know
do
if there
have
are
a
any
question
questions.
for you. Can
Okay,
you at
good.
least tell us a little bit about the other two apps
Yeah,
you use?
sure. The so let's take a look at Story Maps and ArcGIS. Those are the other two apps. So oh, and also I wanted to be able to let you know that you could create your own free account so that you have access to these apps on your own. And then if you want to give your whole school access, there's a form that you can fill out to have that as well, because all of these are free to educators and school, provided to you by Esri. Okay, so ArcGIS Online is where we can go and have maps. I mean, we can build maps using data. And so here's my content that I have here on ArcGIS. So most of these are from the World Geo class, and their current events map that they had to do. But basically, and they did use Story Map for that. I'm trying to think of one that's just ArcGIS. So this one, okay, it shows the map, and you can basically add points, add content to the map. You can also change your base map. There's so much to this, but basically, you just enter in, oops, if you spell it correctly, that helps. But yeah, if you just enter in the point, it'll zoom you to that, enter in, you know, what you're looking for, it'll zoom you to that place in the map. And then you can add a marker. But more than that, it lets you add layers. And so if you are teaching about, you know, weather patterns or locations of volcanoes or, you know, things like that, you can search for those layers, that data that's freely available online, and import those layers into your map over your points. And so, you know, say in relation to where I live in Austin or Houston, you know, what are the weather conditions like? And you can add layers into that. So you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. Also, story maps. This came out a few, maybe 5 years ago now. And when it first came out, it was very difficult to use, I would say. I hesitated a lot. But now you just create a new story here. You basically enter in your title, you give a description, and then you can add an image here, you can add a video, and basically, boom, the kids just start writing to tell their stories. And this is what the World Geo Kids used for their Latin America current events project. So it's, you know, super simple to get started, and it puts the focus on their research, you know, the maps that they're creating, the images that they're adding. So basically here is where they can add all of the fun stuff. And like I said, it takes the focus off of the tool and puts it back on the student research that's being done. So that's a short overview of the other two tools. They're also very powerful.
Thank you. I'm very interested in the story map one.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask before you go through the website for us to sign up and to get the school signed up,
Mm-hmm.
you get the map. So when you're on the other one, 123, once you got the map, how do you share the map with your students?
Okay, so here, if we go back here, this survey results link is the one that you share out. And then what the students will see is the actual map with the results on it. Okay.
Okay, and is there a way to make the map bigger? Like full screen?
I think if we open it in Map Viewer, that's what makes it bigger. There we go.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then they won't be able to see the individual, they'll just see the dot. If you wanted to show them that way as well.
Right. And when you click on it, it has this
Awesome.
pop-up with the data. And this pop-up here, you know, this goes back to the questions that you entered into the form. And so you can have a video, you can have an image, you can have, you know, link to a doc or whatever. So they can add many things to this.
Okay. I feel like it's a more controlled Google Maps.
Yeah.
Where you're almost using form and maps together, which is awesome.
Right. So so it has the maps, which Forms doesn't have, but it has the,
Okay, well, absolutely. This is awesome. So can you show us where do we sign up? I think
okay. Yeah. So if you go to arcgis.com and you're not signed in, let me see if it'll pretend like I'm not signed in. Yeah. And you can just go down here and you can create an account right here. So it's just basically arcgis.com. You create an account, and then that's your own free personal account that you can use, and it'll let you into all the things that I've shown you. Also, here is the link for to create the school link. Where did I put it? Here it is. To create a link for your, a portal for your school. It's this one, the Schools Mapping Software Bundle, and this will get you, and your students and your teachers everything you need here. It's this form right here, showing all my information that I did to do it at my first school. Anyway, that's where it is. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dee.
You're welcome.
I appreciate this webinar. If you can stop sharing your screen, I'm going to make sure that everyone is signed in, that they know how to get to the your evaluation. So let me share my screen quickly. All right, so guys, thank you for joining us live. For those of you who are joining us after the fact and watching the YouTube video, of course, you don't have to sign in, but I'm going to leave this on the video because I do want you to see the upcoming webinars that we have. So those that are joining us live, please go to alex.net/here. And that's just to let us know that you are here. You're going to get a link to her presentation, so you can have all those links to click on. You're also going to get a certificate to say that you were here for an hour on a Saturday, because you're a rock star for learning on a Saturday. So definitely sign in. I also put this in the chat, so you should be able to just click on it. This is how you can contact me. My good contact information. I'm gonna give you a second to take a picture of that if you need to, but it'll also be in the email. So I'm going to move on. We do have some other upcoming webinars. So this is February, so in March, we're going to learn about epic apps and websites for Google Classroom or any classroom. In April, we have a SPED teachers panel, which should be really interesting. And then in May, we have an educational leadership, an administrator, a principal, assistant principal, panel. You can sign up for all of these events at alex.net/events. We also have, if you want to submit a question for the panel, you can just go to alex.net/question, and you can actually submit a question for the SPED or the administrator panel. And then we do have one in June that we're still setting up. In July, we have, backed by popular demand, the Classroom Management and Beyond class. And then we have templates for teachers in September, and we do have one in August, but again, we're just getting that set up. And next weekend, if you're local in the Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana area, we do have a SLLA test prep seminar coming up, and that unfortunately is not free, but if you're interested in that, again, you can sign up on alex.net/events. I do have a link also if you are interested in doing your own webinar, or if you're interested in telling me a topic. I love getting topics from other people. That's how we grow. That's how we know. So if you have a topic where you're like, well, Desiree, do one about this. Or, hey, I want to do one about this. Please let me know. We did get a request for one about counselors. I was like, ooh, I'm intrigued. So that may be coming up next school year. We may get a panel for counselors. So definitely let me know what you're interested in. Let me know if you want to teach anything. Last but not least, and I saw that we did have a question. I'm about to go back to the chat. But last but not least, we have an evaluation. Dee was amazing enough to volunteer her time to teach us about interactive mapping. So it's not letting me get to the chat for a second. So I'm gonna escape and then get to the chat. But definitely please give her some feedback. She wants to know, you know, how amazing, quite frankly, she did. That's my feedback. But please give her some feedback. I am still trying to get to the chat, which is for some reason hiding. So I'm going to put the link to the evaluation. It is now in the chat as well. Terry says, great tools. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Desiree, for hosting these free webinars. You are very welcome. I couldn't do it without the amazing presenters. So thank you, Dee, for presenting. We absolutely, positively thank you for that. And then if you're seeing my screen, this is at alex.net/eval. This is for the evaluation, at alex.net/here for the sign-in sheet. So we're going to wrap it up and end at this time. If you sign in again, I'm going to go to that sign-in sheet and I'm going to get your email addresses to send you the certificate. I'm going to pop this video on YouTube so you can get the link to the YouTube video, and we are done. Remember, you can sign up at alex.net/events to sign up for any of the upcoming webinars. And you can join us live. We love you to join us live, but we know a lot of people watch it when it hits YouTube, and that is fine as well. So thank you guys for coming. We appreciate it. I'm going to leave the room open for a second so you can get these, but I am going to stop the recording, and y'all have a good rest of your Saturday.